you going? Welcome to another edition of Personal Leadership at the National College of Business, and I'd like to talk to you today about a word called responsibility. And there's a lot of interpretations about what responsibility is, and so I'm going to explore that word a little bit deeper today, and from a perspective, what really does responsibility mean? And from a perspective of either running your business or your career, how you can really take control of it, and how when you do, it's such an empowering place to be. So if we break down the word responsibility, able to respond could be an interpretation of it as well, or the ability to choose a response. And if we can have a look at the difference between, say, reacting and responding, if you go to the doctor and you have some spots all over you, for example, and the doctor gives you some medication, and you take the medication and the spots actually get worse and you actually don't improve, perhaps your body has reacted to the medication. So you go back to the doctor and the doctor says, well, listen, we better put you on a different course. So you take another dose of medication, and a couple of days later the doctor gives you a call, the spots have all gone, and the doctor said, how did you go? And you say, fantastic. My body has obviously responded to the medication. So we might see reaction as not so great, but a response as something that is, totally opposite to that. So in business and in life, responsibility is a really tough thing to admit and to take control of. So let's explore that a little bit deeper. Because when you have someone who doesn't take responsibility for a situation, it's very disempowering. In fact, starts a downward cycle of behaviour that doesn't lead anywhere. However, once you actually take responsibility for all aspects of your life, and in fact what's actually gone on previously in your life, and you can then move forward with a clear conscience as well. So one thing that I'd like you to think about is that whatever's happened to you before in your life has happened. The great thing about the past is it's all facts. And the great things about facts is you cannot change the facts. You can't alter it. But how you deal with the facts is actually what is empowering. Now, you may not be responsible for everything that's happened before in your life. When you were younger, as you were growing up, things have happened, great or not so great, that you weren't responsible for at the time. However, what you can be responsible for now is how you deal with what has happened before in the past. One of the things we talk about, is your life situation today. There are certain things that you have been responsible for taking control and action on. Very quickly, I'd like to share, when I was younger, probably going back about 15, 20 years ago now, I used to be about 100 kilos. And it was 100 kilos of pure party, by the way. I smoked, I drank, I ate junk food, but I never accidentally ate anything. I never accidentally smoked a cigarette. There was always a choice in there. And so when I was 100 kilos, I was totally responsible for my situation. If I have a look at any financial challenges that I've been in previously, I have been totally responsible for the financial mess that I've been in. And as soon as, we can own up and accept responsibility for our current situation, the sooner we can leave it behind and move forward to new possibilities. So let's run through, and by the way, going back to that, it's easier said than done. Being able to take full control and responsibility for your life today takes courage. It takes courage to actually grasp it in both hands and say, what? Where I am today in my life is exactly where I've chosen to be. Now let me run that by you one more time. If you can say to yourself out loud in the mirror, where I am in my life today is exactly where I have chosen to be, then, looking at it differently, by the way, if you don't like where you are, you can do something about it. So you've actually chosen to be here today. If you don't like it, do something about it. If you haven't made any choices around it, well then accept that you've chosen to be here. So let's sneak on in. I've got my funky little butcher's paper done up here with a couple of wise words that I'd like to perhaps look a little bit closer. So let's come in here a little closer and have a look. So between the two, below the line and above the line, we've referred to this in a number of different ways before. However, if you have a look at it, below the line is what we call the victim. And the victim is someone who resists the situation, they complain, they whinge, they moan, They justify everything that's going on. They make excuses and actually try to validate what we call the interpretations of what's going on. I'll give you a classic example. In business, it is so easy to point the finger at the government, the GST, the taxation, the global financial mess or crisis, whatever you like to call it. The fact is that every business has been through that. Every business has had to deal with very, very similar situations. But how you deal with that, or how you have dealt with it before in the past, is what you can be totally responsible for. If your business isn't going so great right now, one of the most empowering things you can do is actually say, what, let's get responsible about this. I'm no longer going to resist, complain, moan, whinge, justify, make excuses, or try and invalidate whatever interpretations I can about the situation. Because in that situation, you are a victim. In that situation, you are taking no control of your situation. And you've only got one direction to go, and that's completely downhill. However, the exciting thing is if you can be courageous about the situation, take a step up above the line and be responsible, which means being able to choose the response. You can now explore new possibilities. You can now say, okay, well, what's great about this? Yes, it's not pretty to look at, the mess I'm in right now, whether it's personal, financial, business, relationships, health, whatever you like to look at. Let's have a look at what's possible moving forward. Okay, let's look at it differently. One of the best lines I've heard is, when you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at will change. So let's take that on. Explore new possibilities. What can I cause a breakthrough in? A line that's been with me now for a number of years is that whenever there's a breakdown, it's always, the prelude to a breakthrough. Every breakthrough comes from a breakdown. So if you're in a breakdown situation right now, what's on the other side? What's the breakthrough that you're about to have? And in this situation, when you actually take responsibility, explore new possibilities, accept and actually admit to people that you're responsible for the current situation that you're in right now, it actually becomes inspiring. It actually becomes a situation where other people go, wow, if that person can deal with what they're dealing with right now and take responsibility for it, explore new possibilities, well, that is inspiring. And that word inspire means to breathe life into. It actually excites and empowers other people as well. So moving forward from here, the real choice that you have is which line are you going to play? Because you can't play on either side at the same time. You have to choose. You have to choose, do I choose victim, continue, resist, complain? And by the way, this might even be with some of the coaching that you're getting from your business mastery coach. If you're resisting the coaching, guess what? This is where you're at. But if you're actually allowed to get through, whenever you stand up and share from the front of the room, and then you look at ways to justify and blame and reason and validate the reasons why you didn't do what you didn't do, you're still here. But if you can say, listen, I didn't get done what I didn't get done, I'm totally responsible, but here's what I'm committed to moving forward. And by the way, when you do that, it's really, I suppose, tough to do, but if you can say, I'm totally responsible for what's gone on. I'm the result of the situation that I'm in, and I realise the impact that it has had on other people. But here's what I'm committed to moving forward. And when you commit to new action, you commit to new possibilities, you commit to a breakthrough, and the most important part here is that you stick to it and you have integrity with your word, it becomes so inspiring to others. Not just inspiring to yourself, but the other people in your business mastery group. You're inspiring to your family and to your team and in fact the whole world. And how great would this place be if we had so many more inspiring people in the world? So become inspiring, be courageous, stand up to it, take full responsibility, and just watch what happens in your life. Have a great month, and we'll chat to you soon.